Hello and welcome everyone to the U-Wealth Revolution. I'm super excited today, and we have Maria Martinez with us. We are going to be asking some big questions. I'd like to start with each of you. Do you believe there is a divine intelligence? Do you believe there is an information beyond what we know that is divinely guided by a higher knowing? Do you believe that there is a universal consciousness, a source consciousness, a guidance, if you will, that is maybe part of the same essence that grows the trees, that blossoms the flowers, that allows the fourth embryonic division to happen, and all of the other things that are so critical to life without any effort, without any struggle, and it comes from somewhere around us, inside of us, or outside of us, or within us? Well, if you do, then today's going to be a very special day, because we're going to be tapping into that energy, and it might just transform every aspect of your life. Because if you've heard stories of people having awakening experiences or shift experiences like I have, and been excited or interested in that, we're going to begin to open up what that is and maybe how it's possible for all of us. In fact, I know that is the truth. Our guest today is Maria Martinez. She is a natural-born healer, and from a small child, she began working with her angels, guides, and spiritual mentors. She helped thousands of people release the lack and scarcity to reconnect to their gifts, talents, and transform their relationships with money, wealth, and prosperity to manifest more and make opportunities for abundance easier. And I believe part of an abundant life is tapping into this divine flow, which we're going to talk about. Now, Maria supports you in identifying your pathways and portals to this, discovering the purpose that you're here for, and accessing that through this divine intelligence so that your life flows with more ease, happiness, fulfillment, and prosperity. And it also has effects on your body. We are a divine being with a divine blueprint. I truly believe that. And when we clear the blocks to having it all, the things that are not part of that blueprint, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the memories, victimhood energies, the dynamics, the loops, the tethers, the cords, whatever it is, we begin to align to that natural state. Now, Maria is also connected to some very interesting higher dimensional things like the Galactic Council. She's also very ancient, and she herself was created to usher humanity into their awakening and enlightenment so we can access this divine human potential. We're going to be plugging into this with her help today, and she loves to work as a human potential activator, a wealth conscious activator, and an energy alchemist. And she serves people all over the world in a lot of different roles, from helping people like you and me to companies and even huge corporate consulting. So we're going to be talking about all of this. Let me share a few stories. One person wrote in, this was Sophie. Maria, thank you for the session. The pain is now 90% gone, which is amazing because I was actually in chronic pain every day since the session. I had barely felt it. I'm so grateful. It literally feels like a huge weight has been lifted off. Another person said, I sold a house yesterday. Another person, instant manifestation, $20,000 by the end of the session. And she says, Maria facilitated some magnificent financial shifting in my life. Another person wrote in, Kim, and said money started coming in from different unexpected sources, $24,000 in 3 weeks. After work with Maria, it felt like I moved into the vibration of abundance, right? So let's all do that today. We want to be in the vibration of abundance, and let's welcome Maria, who's going to guide us into what all of this is about. Maria, welcome back to U-Wealth. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. And it's so exciting to be here. As you know, every time I come on your show, everything that we bring to the show is divinely guided and created just for your audience. I'm just really excited of what everybody is receiving, going to receive today and moving forward through the journey. So I'm so excited for everyone.
Yes, me too. I'd like to talk a little bit about your work and the Galactic Council because it's a little bit of your backstory and a little bit of how you are able to get some very new energies onto the planet and into people like the listeners today. Tell me a little bit about that. When you say part of the Galactic Council, what does that mean?
Yeah, so the frequencies that you talked about, really they're coming from source and divine intelligence. So this is part of my soul's mission, working with the Galactic Council. So these are other beings outside this 3D, but also other healers like myself that have this as their soul's mission to bring new frequencies into Mother Earth, to create awakening, to create healing, to create transformation. We, as a group, or as conscious beings, work together to bring in the new frequencies that are available as Mother Earth is going through her ascension, as things change around the different galaxies. And as we bring these new frequencies, there are a new level of awakening, a new level. It's like new doors that are being opened, new timelines that are being created for us to step into, like new gateways. And it's amazing and it's powerful. And some of the, the beings that are part of the Galactic Council are known to many as the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Lyrians. So many of these beings are part of that who we work with to create more opportunity, more possibility by being sort of a vessel or channel of these new frequencies that are coming in, grounding them into Mother Earth, and facilitating ascension, facilitating, again, transformation, deep transformation, and new timelines for many of us to step into and continue to evolve and continue to move through our journey of ascension and awaken more of ourselves, so that, the rest of us, the rest of humanity, can also bring their gifts forth, can create and manifest in their own reality, and also help others create that ripple effect. As we each transform, as we each raise our vibration, as we embody more of ourselves and more of the higher frequencies, as we move away from the density into the light, then we hold more of that, what's available for all of us. And then again, we create sort of this beautiful space for others to step into. And then they create that space for others to step into. So it's a beautiful, I would say it's a beautiful contract that many of us have agreed to, that I truly love. In which I do in the astral plane and the spiritual realms, as well as and here, as we're going to do here today as well.
What do you see planetarily, or what do they see and you see happening planetarily? Are we moving closer to that? Is the sort of the turmoil and some of the things we've been through a part of that process of kind of stripping away the old, or getting to see kind of the darker underbelly of planetary structures? What would you say about all that? What is happening?
Yeah. So what I see is that we are moving closer to that every day and in every moment we're releasing another layer. Now, it also depends from where you see, right? If we're looking at possibility, if you see through the eyes of possibility, you're always going to see that movement forward. If we're looking through the eyes of fear and darkness and lack and scarcity, then we're going to see what's not working well. However, when we look at from a higher perspective and we look at the direction that we're all moving in that direction of awareness and awakening. We're all moving in that direction of more. And some of us are moving a little bit faster than others because there's more willingness, there's more allowing, there's more of our doing our own internal work in this process. But we're all headed in that direction, just at different paces.
Yeah, I love that. Now, we're going to talk about a few concepts here, but these concepts are going to open us up to some newer energies. And I want to know from everybody here, what is the reason you're joining the call today? What is maybe the big thing going on that you'd like help with, that you'd like to shift? And I'm going to share a few things. Some people writing in with discomfort and pain, some people wanting breakthroughs for more finances or stability and abundance, one person wanting to feel better in their body, another person wanting to soul heal some deep wounds. So tell me a little bit about separation and something you call closing the gap to be able to create the life we want, or having it all. What is that gap? What is separation?
Yeah. So separation and the gap are the same, and that is the separation that we created as humanity from source. Source, everything that is, but also what's within us, right? Source is within us. We are the fabric of source. We were created from source. We are divine consciousness, divine intelligence. That's who we are, but we created separation from that. And so that is the gap. And because we're multidimensional beings, many of us also create a separation within our multidimensional body. So sometimes when we work at the spirit level, the emotional level, the mental level, the energetic still has that separation. So the journey of coming back to that place of wholeness and oneness is multidimensional. However, when we come back to the place, then we come back to the place of infinite possibility, infinite knowing, infinite oneness, where everything already exists. Everything that we ever desire is already there. Abundance, prosperity, joy, health, vitality, our full potential is already there. So this journey to coming back to that place or closing the gap can be a very fun adventure, because if we look at, when we look at every time we're triggered, every time something happens in our life, instead of looking at it from, oh no, there's one more thing again. If we look at it from, ooh, this is going to bring me closer to that divine light, my full potential, all that I am and everything that is available to me, then this journey becomes very easy. You create more flow. You create more of what you desire. And it actually feels like it goes a lot faster. You start to bend time and you move out of space and time.
Yeah, I agree with that. A quick question. When we talk about this essence or this part of us, that's kind of like the multidimensional part, and then there's the gap between that and what we might be sitting in right now, this physical part. What does that multidimensional part want to do? What is its purpose for us? Why is it maybe relevant?
Yeah, so the multidimensional parts of ourselves are spirit, soul, mental, emotional, and the physical body. And really their intention is to become one. That's what we seek: oneness, wholeness, connection. We want to feel part of, we want to feel connection, but we seek connection and we seek to fit in outside. But the answer is within us. So when we focus on us and we focus on connection, then we start feeling more happy, more joy. We start feeling more certain, more grounded. We start feeling that life is possible. We are able to access courage. We're able to access our passion. We're able to access our creativity. Because when we feel separate, it's like that glass being half empty, right? Or when you have a house and the rooms are empty. When you start coming in, then the house feels warm and it feels full, and you feel connection and you feel happy and you feel all these amazing feelings that allow you to move into a state of creation, of the state where everything just seems possible. And we all know that feeling. We know we've had different experiences through our life where we feel disconnected from the world, or where we feel so full, we feel so connected, we feel supported, we feel loved. So that's what the multidimensional bodies are. They're parts of us that want to come into oneness, that want to be, they want to support oneness. They want to support who we are in this journey.
So we have this multidimensional essence, but somehow you said we're like separated from it, or maybe fragmented. What does that mean when we're like not necessarily connected to that part? How does that start to show up in our lives? What does it do?
Yeah, so I'll give a couple examples. So if we look at the spirit exists in multidimension. The spirit, the spirit can leave your body. When we talk about timelines, there's a fragment of your spirit in another timeline. There's a remembering. There's an essence in another timeline. So to bring that part of you into wholeness, if you're running programs from the lifetime, is to go back to that part of you, awaken that part of you, and connect that part of you to the truth, to your wisdom, to the high self. To bring that part into the awareness that it's not broken, it's not separate, it's not in trauma, it's not in that loop anymore. So then that program or that karma or that timeline that keeps affecting this lifetime becomes resolved. So then you bring that fragment of yourself in. And then that part of yourself, or another example of the spirit could be the spirit is trapped somewhere. And you have this loop of being victimized. You have this loop of being in trauma. You have this loop of things not working out for you. Maybe entity attachment. It just feels like you're not there. There's a part of you missing. You're not yourself. You're not present. You're not fully aware. You're not fully owning your power. You're not grounded. So your spirit may be somewhere else and may be trapped. So when we awaken your spirit to its knowing that it's infinite, that it cannot be broken and that it cannot be diminished, that it's pure light, then it breaks itself free and comes back into alignment. It comes back to you, the body.
Wow.
And that's where the embodiment comes from. And let's say the soul, the soul is connected to the spirit, but the spirit is not there, then there's a disconnected spirit. The soul doesn't know what to do because the soul is fueled by the spirit and vice versa. And if it doesn't know what to do, it doesn't feel it has a purpose, then the light within the physical body also becomes to diminish. The organs become less functional. It doesn't have the vitality. It doesn't have the life force. So you feel lethargic. You feel exhausted. Then other things start showing up in your body, like chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune disease. So that's how the disconnect manifests itself. When parts of you are not in awareness, or not awakened, or not connected to that divine intelligence, that divine knowing that we are whole, we're infinite, we're running infinite source energy, we're vital. And then, of course, then you have the emotional body. If the emotional body has a program of shame and blame and guilt and unworthiness and deservingness, that also impacts the physical body. That also impacts the light of your soul. It impacts the spirit. The spirit doesn't want to be in a vessel that is running a low vibration. So it may be there right next to you, but not in your body. So we want to resolve these things that are getting in the way of your spirit being fully in your body. And also, if you're running all these other lower emotions, then that could attract other entities that are resonating with shame and blame and anger and regret and resentment and self-loathing and self-hate. And that also manifests on other illness in the physical body. So there's this whole loop of entanglement that happens. But when you look at and you methodically look at each part of yourself, and you start bringing every part of you into alignment and into connection, not just with your higher self, but with each other. The soul connected to the spirit, the physical body connected to the soul, to the spirit, the emotional body and the mental body connected to the soul, the spirit, the physical body. Now you have a beautiful foundation of success, of abundance, of health and vitality, a place where you can thrive as the human in this journey, having this experience.
Wow. Thank you for that. That is absolutely fantastic, a fantastic summary. You mentioned that we're awakening the spirit back to its knowing. Is there such a thing as a block then, or is it just a disconnection or a lack of that part of us remembering what it comes from, or that energy in our body being disconnected from what it ultimately truly is in its complete form? And how would you explain that?
Yeah. So the mind is very powerful, right? Whatever we hear, we can choose to make it our truth, or we can reject it. And a lot of times as children, we don't know. We take everything as our truth. And when you believe that you're not worthy, or you believe that you're not important, or you believe you're not essential, that's when the separation happens. And that's also where those belief systems start spilling over to your soul, your spirit, your physical body. And you can see that like a direct connection, especially in the physical body. So your spirit believes what the mind believes. And it believes that it can be trapped or it can be broken. It believes that it's not worthy. It believes. So it carries the same energy that you're holding. So when we awaken the spirit to its infinite power, and we bring it back and we clear the physical body from those belief systems, those programs, those mental models, and we clear the emotional body of those emotions that are not serving you, then you start moving into a new vibration, into a new alignment. The spirit is awakened, the mental body is awakened. And then you start establishing, you start accepting new truths as I am worthy, I am deserving, I am love, I am infinite. So when you awaken the spirit knows that. But then when the mind starts beginning that, and now the mind knows that. And then we send directives to the physical body. When you, within yourself, hold that space of I am enough, I am worthy, I am, I am deserving. So then the physical body also starts to hold that vibration. The same way with your energetic body. And that's how each part of you starts moving into that awakening, into wholeness, into divine intelligence. We move from our consciousness that is limited from what we've taken on from our environment into infinite possibility. And we make things possible that we didn't think were possible before, like healing from autoimmune disease, from healing from cancer, from healing from other things, from manifesting abundance that we didn't think it was possible before. We move into a new possibility. We move into a new reality, into a new timeline from the new vibration, or that is in the new vibration.
I love it. I love it. I love the idea of a new timeline. Absolutely. Now, what have you seen? Because people will say, well, that sounds great. What starts to happen in people's lives? How does their physical reality change when they are really aligned to that soul spirit and it's coming through them, right? Coming through every aspect of them. What have you seen happen?
Oh, beautiful, amazing things happen. And it really depends on what the intention of each individual is and what you're working on. But I've seen people heal from autoimmune disease. I've seen people create within a day thousands and thousands of dollars, or within a week, six figures. I've seen people release a chronic illness that they had that was based on an emotion that was embedded in their field. So it's you move into the space of creating miracles, because when you're in the density, it's like an entanglement. It's like being bound. But when you release those shackles and when you release all of that, then you are in that blank space. And when you hold the vibration of possibility, probability, expectancy, then whatever you're holding, whatever the intention is that you're holding, then that's where your energy is taking you. That's where your focus is taking you. That's the new reality that you're creating. So I've seen, people go from I don't have a job to being offered a job that is more than they've ever had in the past, from not having any clients to now in a couple of months making more than they ever did in a year. Even in professions like real estate, like, not having sold any houses in a year to selling their house in 3 weeks, selling a new house in 3 weeks. So just magnificent things can happen if we move into the state of expectancy, of the state of, I believe that this is possible, and we hold that possibility. And this is where the bridge is. We play a lot in the 5D and above, and that's beautiful and powerful. But we're also living in the 3D, and there's nothing wrong, of course, because this is the journey. This is the journey that we're on. This is the chapter of our book that we're on. But we can make it the best experience ever. We can make it our best journey yet by bridging, living in a high vibration, or being in a high vibration and holding that high vibration and being in that possibility, and then holding the intention for the material that we're creating, whether that's a new career or a new job or a new promotion or a new home or money in the bank. We can manifest that. We can hold that space. We can be in that space, in the vibration of possibility, of expectancy, of probability, and we can place that in our timeline, and then we can move forward as it is. It is done, and then it just happens.
Yes. Yeah, I could ask you tons of questions. We're getting a lot of things coming in about shifting parts of the life, of our life. Why would you say we have to actually take the responsibility? We have to do the journey. It sounds obvious, but there's something else going on, right? Because there's a part of us that we may not think about or want to work with, but you say we have to actually empower some part of us. We have to empower a part of ourselves that we may not want to admit we have. Tell me about that.
Yes. So, sometimes when we talk about responsibility, it sounds obvious, but there's a part of us that says, well, if I take responsibility, then other things come up like fear of failure, or fear of being vulnerable, or fear of being, not getting it right. So, the ego starts kicking in. And then, of course, the parts of us that have already experienced that, like the inner child, or the part of us that doesn't want to take responsibility, like the victim. But this journey is not about separation. This is the other part of separation, and it's not part of avoiding. This journey is about embracing. It's about shining the light on those parts of us that, are just asking for connection, or asking for support, or asking for awakening, or asking for love. That's the journey. And when we can look at this journey as I am just embracing every part of myself, every experience I chose to have on this journey, and bringing in higher wisdom to that part of myself, and releasing all judgment, releasing all criticism, and just seeing myself with unconditional love and loving kindness, then that's the empowerment that happens, because now we're releasing what the part of us is holding. We're releasing the blame, the shame, the guilt, the I failed, or, because those are labels that we give that experience, because we are relating to that experience in that way. And when we empower those parts of us, then we're giving them permission to see that experience differently. We're giving them permission to say, oh, interesting, that was an interesting series of events. What did I learn from that? I learned that when I step into my power, when I own my power, things just flow for me. When I feel like I'm not in my power, when I feel like I have to hide, or when I feel like I'm not worthy, then things don't work out so much for me. So that's right. The learning, right? As we move forward, then we embrace more of that. We step into more of that, more of our power, more of our self-belief, more of our self-trust, more of our self-acceptance. And then the journey, again, it's just, when we're in that space where we are not in alignment, it's all these multiple paths that may not end up in our highest good. But when we start moving into self-belief, these paths start to merge together into the path that is in our highest good.
Yes.
Because we're saying we don't need to go down that road to have that experience to get the lesson again. I'm choosing to have the lesson now, to integrate the lessons and learnings.
Is this opening the way? And I want everyone to imagine a mechanism. It's kind of how I see it. The more of these parts that we integrate, then we reclaim more parts of ourselves, and then we have more of a connected channel, if you will, or flow from some of the things that you've mentioned, like divine intelligence, source intelligence, universal intelligence, and all of these higher dimensional paths, timelines, awarenesses, knowings. Explain a little bit of that to me as to, like, what are these things that we call divine intelligence, source intelligence, universal intelligence, higher consciousness? Is it all the same? Is it really the animation of our life force energy that all of this stuff algorithmically is driving through source? Explain it to me.
Yeah, so they're really all the same, source intelligence, divine intelligence, universal intelligence, divine love. They're really all the same. It's just different ways of looking at it, different ways of relating. And especially because sometimes for us to connect to source may be easier, but for some of us may be easier to connect to divine love or divine intelligence. So that really is the same. And when we, and actually we all can, and we have the ability and capacity to connect to it. But sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to do that. Sometimes we see ourselves in a way that doesn't fully allow us to be in that space of oneness, in that space of self-love, in the space of unconditional love, in that space of divine love. A lot of times it's because we feel unworthy of that, and this is where the separation is. We feel unworthy of being God, of being source, of being universe, because we're so attached to a story or to event or to the way we're relating to something that happened around us, or we're so attached to the victim part of us that's attached to the pain. But we all have the ability to be in that space of wholeness. We all have the capacity. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves permission to do that, to embody fully the light that is already available to all of us and within us, to ignite it within us and to see it expand throughout our space and our field, and, to expand into the universe. It's already there. It's already who we are. From everything that we've experienced and everything that we took on in the programs and the mental models, that's where we have this idea that we have to go through all these steps or all these obstacles or all these breakthroughs in order to get there. And we don't really.
That's right. We don't really.
The awakening and the awareness, the awakening and the awareness is I choose to be now. Yes. I choose to be now all that I am. I choose to be now divine consciousness, divine love. I choose to be now all that is already available within me, all that is the light within me. I choose to be now. And as I'm saying that, I can see, some of you just kind of holding that space and your hands to your heart, and allowing that. It's like an awakening that's happening. And I can hear the words, yeah, you're right. I am, and I could be that now. I don't have to be on this journey of ascension. I don't have to be on this journey of breakthrough. And we can be that now in this journey that we're on to manifesting our true, our true reality or ideal life, or the extraordinary life that we're moving into just becomes so easy, so full of love, so full of light, so full of synchronicities, so full of support, because we're choosing to move away from the survival, because we're choosing to move away from the pain. We're choosing to know that everything is choice, and everything that we create comes from within. And we can create happiness, and we can create abundance, and we can create prosperity, and we can create vitality from the space of I am already. I am already. It's beautiful and it's powerful.
Yeah, I feel it. And I mean, as I've kind of been just plugging in, there's an energy right now that's just like right there. You can grab it. You can go into it. You can hold it. And you're going to talk more about kind of what's the process? Because, there is a process. There's ways to begin to kind of like shed the layers, remove the film, make the reconnection. We're going to get to that. Sarah writes into us from Scotland. She says, Maria, I've had health and money issues all my life. I wonder if there is an energy behind these that can be cleared. I would love to expand into my full potential. Now, when she says an energy behind these that could be cleared, what do you see? What do you think about that in terms of a model or a framework around what we've been talking about? Is it an energy behind this, or is it a disconnection? What do you see with Sarah?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and it's perfect to what we've been talking about and the statement that just came in. We are already, right? Right. So we are already. So this, up until now, or for many of us, we've been on this journey by there's this breakthrough, there's this expansion, there's this activation, and that's been beautiful, and it's supported us in many different ways. And that's how we've been having this journey or doing this journey. And now we can also choose something different. That was her choice, right? We were choosing on doing it this way. Now we can choose that everything I am already. Everything that is available to me is already within me now. So that's a different space and a different vibration. So it's like putting a stop to the journey. I have to go through all these breakthroughs. I have to go through all these. I have to go through this expansion. I have to go through this ascension in order to be. So it actually moves you to a different timeline. And yes, we're still in a state of expansion, but the experience is very different, right? Instead of feeling like I have to, I should, or there's more to do, or it's just, oh, interesting. There's that piece right there that is just dissolving around me. All these other layers, whether from different timelines or different lifetimes or from my past or from my multidimensional self, it's like you're sitting in the middle of your movie. And you're just saying, oh, that right there, oh, look at that dissolve into nothingness or energy. Oh, look at that right there dissolve into nothingness of energy. So there is no struggle. There is no, there is less effort, right? It's just effortlessly it's happening. So in the way she phrased her statement, and so this is the awareness that we're stepping into, right? And the way the statement is phrased is almost like there's something wrong with me outside me that is I'm not responsible for. And so there is no judgment around this. It's how our mind works, right? So we want to be aware of that, of how we're looking at the world and how we're saying things that are around us, or how we're relating to what's around us. And that's where the responsibility comes in. Instead of that thing around me or that thing that is plaguing me. And it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's things that are from a different dimension, like entities. When you move into the space of I am the creator of my life, and this is what I've been creating up to now, then you can move into the space of mastery and sovereignty and authority, and you can say, oh yeah, that thing that was there, that was an entity that was attached. Look at it dissolve. There is no energy attached to it, right? There's no like, oh, that was hurting me or in my way or blocking me. You're just like, oh, it's nothing.
It's nothing.
You're bringing light to it. You're bringing the awareness to it. You're bringing divine consciousness to it, and it becomes nothing. We're
going to work with a few folks today. I know we are experiencing a lot of energies. I want to take some callers. When you see energy, I know you do some very powerful one-on-one work. When you see energy, you connect to somebody, can you tell us really quick, what do you see? What do you start to kind of have come into your awareness about an individual who might be on the other end of a healing session?
Mm-hmm. Every session, and obviously it's a little bit different because we all have our different intentions, but the way the information comes to me is I hear it. So I hear some of the belief systems, some of the programs that are running in the mental body, or I'll see symbols, I'll see images of how the person sees themselves, or I even see the spirit when it's somewhere else trapped that needs to be awakened or needs to be awakened and then invited to come back. Or what I'll see is different obstacles. Sometimes they look like weapons, or sometimes they look just like other, like denser energies that are in the body. Because I look at every individual and as the multidimensional self, I'm looking at the mind, I'm looking at the spirit, I'm looking at the soul, I'm looking at their physical body, and then I can see the different sort of separations, the different imbalances in the multidimensional bodies, and then we start bringing that into alignment. And of course, the process is customized to the individual, whoever I'm working with at the moment. And even when we're working with abundance is a vibration, right? It's a vibration, it's a knowing, it's a frequency. So when people come to me and they're asking about abundance and prosperity, I look at the frequency or the energy of abundance and prosperity around them. I look at where it is around them, and I look at what images it has attached to them. And the images that it has attached to it sometimes is connected to the person's belief system. It could be from their upbringing, or it could be from experiences of trauma that they had in their life, or it could be from their lack of self-worth or lack of value. And then what we do is we transform all of that for the individual. And then we expand, amplify, so we activate the frequency of abundance so it's more flowing, so it doesn't feel like it's separate and outside them. And then we bring it and we reconnect it to the person into the field. And the way we do that is by transforming the belief systems, whatever that block was, that image that they had that was creating that separation and that was repelling or pushing abundance or prosperity out of their field. And then we bring that into the heart, but we do it with the individual. It's not something that we're doing outside you. It's not, everything is within you. So we're working with you and what's inside you, whether it's energy inside of you, emotions inside of you, thought forms inside of you, or within you that are creating this fragmented life that you're living, and effort and survival, and that is not working for you. And the same thing with when it comes to like pain, especially when it comes to pain, we're looking at the physical body, but we're looking at the energetic body. And we're looking also looking at the spirit to see if that spirit is the one that's holding that pain from something that happened in another lifetime. And again, and it's all coming into the divine awareness, divine awakening, that you are infinite and you're whole. And that all of that is really something that you're holding, but it's really complete, and it's part of an illusion that is still there.
Yes.
So we come back to the now, right? Everything is divine now. Everything is divine love right now. Everything is divine intelligence right now. When we come back into the space, then all these other images, all these other things that were playing out in your life begin to dissolve, because you see them from a new set of eyes. You see them from a new perspective. You see yourself from a new perspective. You see yourself and you feel yourself from a new place of joy, from a new place of self-acceptance, from a new place of self-love. And then all these layers begin to dissolve.
Why is it a journey through some of those integrations? Why is that?
Yeah, so the reason we have this journey is because we talked about this earlier, is how we've been fragmented or separated. And this journey in this offer is to come back into wholeness, is to recognize that separation, first of all, and then to notice how we created that separation and delete and uncreate that separation and the program around there or the energies around there, or not being in ownership of those parts of ourselves, and then bringing back into our totality. a little bit what we did today in this practice, where we were in the body, but we were not in the body. We were in the body, but we were in the chakras, and we were in the body, but we were looking at ourselves from a different area. We were in that full expansion. So the full expansion is our totality, right? But when we drop into different areas, we're looking at what is the gap, what is the separation. And then we're with so much love and so much grace and so much ease, bringing love and bringing healing to that separation, and we're elevating that part of ourselves into the same vibration or into the higher vibration of oneness, of divine love, divine intelligence. And then when we go through this journey of integrating, then we're actually activating more of ourselves, because, even in our knowing, we know that the brain, the mind has so much capacity, but we use 1 to 2% of it, right? So this is the same thing with our multidimensional bodies, with our human potential. We're using parts of, percentages of these multidimensional bodies that we are. What if we were in our totality? What would our life look like?
Right.
What would we create? What life could we live? What we could, what would that look like in terms of our joy, in terms of our health, in terms of our vitality, in terms of our contribution to the world, right? What would that, just creating something amazing for ourselves and for the world. So in this journey, and especially in package A, where we're going through the bodies, it's bringing in and coming into the intelligence of what created it, but with so much love. And then looking at that separation and healing that part of ourselves and coming back to that place of we are, or I am in this moment, all that I am, and inviting other parts of ourselves to come into that place of I am in this moment, all that I am.
Coming back.
And it's a very beautiful, it's a very beautiful and very powerful, but it's also very healing, because a part of the things that are in that gap are old trauma. They're old belief systems, they're old judgments, they're old, feelings, or the way we relate to events like failure, that are creating the separation and creating the resistance and creating the blocks to having, blocks to our health, blocks to living our greatest life. So that's why it's important, because we can say we are already, right? And we have to be in the practice of that every day, but we also get to trust and we get to believe that is so. And sometimes we're not able to believe because the mind or the intellect is focused on, well, look at what my environment looks like. Look at what my body looks like. Look at what's happening in my body. So we want to elevate beyond that. And in order to do that, we get to bring in that higher consciousness, a higher awareness, and move ourselves into the higher consciousness. So we're upgrading the mind as well into that higher state of consciousness, into the higher state of wealth consciousness, the higher state of the body has that healing intelligence within it, into the higher state of possibility throughout that journey.
I love it. I want to share a little bit about this. And also we have a lot of questions coming in, or comments, I should say, too, as people start to come back into this reality. Wow. Pavi says, thank you, Maria. I felt so peaceful in my heart, opening up to more love and abundance. Anushka from Belgium, thank you so much. I love this. I went so deeply. Thanks a trillion times. Joshua, that was so powerful. So much love coming in. Been moving out of having shoulder pain from past life experiences. During the process, I saw a piece of my soul come back to me and heal my shoulder pain, plus bring light and sovereignty into my stomach and heart. So just amazing. And as more and more are coming in, I want to share a little bit about this journey, because today we did a piece and you've got something very, very exciting. If you are feeling the energy coming and you really feel there's something to reclaim or to bring back, we're going to talk about these 12 areas that we are going to be reclaiming, plus a lot more in a very special opportunity. And it's all about reclaiming the divine intelligence that we are. And let me share where it is, because we're going to unpack this for the next 10 minutes or so. And also, if you've been wanting maybe to have one of these very rare and limited time with Maria, a one-on-one session, we're going to talk about that, because all of it, if you enjoyed today or you feel like this is a new step forward or a path that you want to expand, go to uwealthrevolution.com/Maria, Maria 25, or just look for a button or scroll down if you're on the replay. Because on this page, you're going to actually be able to free yourself from the past and move into the divine flow of all you are. And the one way to do that is through a very personal experience in package C, which is going to get you everything on the page. And it's 25 minutes with you, Maria. I thought maybe 10 or 15, but 25 is amazing. And you've got a 15-minute follow-up for the first 25 people. So I want to talk about this. What is going to happen in these beautiful follow-up and preliminary sessions? That's like 40 minutes with you, which is huge.
Yeah, and if you can see, I like to go really deep. And even when we go deep, it doesn't take a lot of time to work through several things that are happening. And because the multidimensional bodies could be very intertwined or very entangled, we can go in through the multidimensional bodies or more than one. And in this session, what really happens is, creating that space for you to step into your sovereignty, to step into your freedom, and to be able to own yourself and be your authority, be in this place where you're reclaiming your divine power, because from that place is where the healing happens. From where that place is where you truly manifest your ideal life. So that's the idea for, to create that space and to release the entanglement in different layers that are creating the illusion of disempowerment or the illusion that you're not in control of your life, or that, this is as good as it's going to get. And as we release and remove all those layers and awaken the different parts of you, you can move into that full ownership of yourself and into your I am presence and create from that place the life that you truly desire. And that's really how, when you hold that space and the more you're in that space, the more you can hold that frequency, and then you move into a higher frequency and a higher frequency, because that is who we are, right? We release a layer of our consciousness when we surrender more and more and more into the divine self. And the higher the frequency, the easier it is to manifest. And that's how people are able to manifest. Like that's Mary manifested 132,000 in 1 week from multiple sources, because she just really allowed herself to go into the space. She really allowed herself, she really moved into trusting herself, first of all, and secondly of all, trusting the divine.
Trusting the divine.
The divine. And that is powerful when you can just easily be in that space, because, again, what happens on a normal day, we worry about this and we worry about that, and that worry moves us further away from who we are, further away from our divine light. And if we can remember and be aware of what's happening in every day and every moment, then we stay in that sovereign place. We stay in that alignment. We stay in that field of possibility. And we expand that field into a possibility to more and more and more probability, more expectancy. I expect that to happen. I said it. I declared it. It's happening.
Yes, I agree. And
it's a muscle. Yeah.
This is where it can be personal for you. And Maria, you talked about how you look into the energy field. You see what's there. You see different layers, different timelines. You've done instant upgrades. You've done activations for people where they've had big shifts in all sorts of areas like money and possibilities. One lady had written in, this was Carrie Anna, tripled my income and changed my relationship to money through the divine upgrade, through the upgrade. All right. So we're talking about, I guess, obviously here reclaiming our truth, but our truth doesn't need to be struggle. It's struggle, I feel, if it is for some, because there's a part of us that we've disconnected from or that we've left out there that is not in our daily reality as a full embodiment of who we are. This is exactly where, Maria, you're able to see this and help us to shine our light and bring these upgrades into our life. So check it out, because it's very special. And then you do a follow-up, I'll just say in package C, because you want people to make sure that they embody and receive all the encodings. So you get a 15-minute upgrade. I want to jump to some other pieces here because we are going a little bit long, but the 15-minute follow-up, tell me about how that works. And that's for the first 25, so I got to make sure here.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to get that, but if you're one of the first ones, you're going to get it absolutely for free. It's like a big $400 almost value there.
Absolutely.
If not more.
Yeah. Yes, actually, yeah, that's like $700 combined. It's like $700 value and more. So we did a little bit of this today, but we didn't really get a chance to go deeper when we accessed the DNA and we started looking at the codes. In the follow-up, we look at the codes, because that's also important. Everything that we're creating It's a vibration, and the vibration, the frequency, for me, the way it shows up in color and symbols and numbers and just frequency. It could come in like a sacred geometry. So the follow-up is to move to the next upgrade, to make sure that you've integrated fully what was given in the first session, and in the second one, or the follow-up, is to take you to the next level of ascension, the next level of possibility, the next level of the next version of you. And that's from the DNA level expanding out into your multidimensional self, which is really powerful. Again, it's, we spend more time doing that than we did today. Today you got a little bit of taste of that, but we spend more time doing that because the more you embody that divine essence, divine love, divine intelligence, the less you operate in the illusion, the less you operate in the matrix, the less you run lower vibrational emotions, the more certain you are, the more grounded you feel, the more courage you have to take steps forward and take action, the more you trust yourself and trust the divine and the divine guidance that you're receiving. So it's a significant shift that you're moving into, and the more you're in that space, the more it becomes your natural way of being. That's really important, the natural way of being. And you wake up in the morning and you're fearless. You wake up in the morning and you're limitless. You wake up in the morning and you're unstoppable. That's who you're becoming in this practice of embodying your true self, your true divine self. You're not operating in the density. You're not operating in the fear. You're so certain of yourself and what you're creating that you are seeing the world happening, but you're not in that happening. So you asked a question earlier about what do you see in the world? Well, this is how I see the world. I can see the world happening, but I'm not in that happening. I'm creating my own reality. Yeah, and that's you embodying your everything that you are and everything that's available to you from that higher state, activating divine intelligence within you and creating from that place of, things are dissolving that are not matching you. Things are evaporating. Things are being deleted and uncreated that are not in alignment. And it's very, very powerful. It's a beautiful practice, again, that becomes your true nature, your reality. And that's why we have the second follow-up. Because, we're checking in how you're doing. We're checking in how your manifesting is coming along. We're checking in how you're holding the vibration, your health, how that's going. And we're tweaking, we're upgrading, we're activating, we're releasing, we're aligning more of yourself into sovereignty, into joy, into happiness, into your authority, into prosperity.
I love it. Yes. Well, it's all there, and I want to share real quick. We do have some spots for the second follow-up, which becomes free for you, and you may want to check it out at uwealthrevolution.com/Maria, Maria 25. Now, there's a few other pieces here, and what I love about the work is this is a multidimensional transformation of the mind, body, and spirit. These things can happen very quick, and we've got stories of people very quickly experiencing new things, flowing into new things. Package A, you actually have what is a 12-week series that people are actually going to get 4 full hours of energy transmission and upgrades. And I kind of walked through the areas a little bit quickly, though. Spirit, soul, energy, body, auric field, chakra systems, pulling back the divine essence of each of these. So if you imagine a part of you that might be hanging out there or disconnected that you're not bringing into the world and your day-to-day life creation energy, she's going to bring back all of these 12 divine parts in the first package. So that's discounted 92% off. It's a $1,164 value for just $97. Then you've got a package B where you're going to actually add into this 4 hours of live group calls. Tell me real quick about these, and then, of course, I'll just make note. There's a lot more, so go check it all out. But tell me about the 4 live calls, package B, and what you're going to be doing quickly, because I want to get to maybe some final questions and thoughts, but this is a huge opportunity, Maria. Thank you.
Yeah, so the 4 questions are where you once you've gone through a couple of the series. So I want to add one more thing, and this is the
Yeah.
reason why this was broken up and I was guided to do it this way, is because a lot of times the spirit, when people are coming in, they're saying, I'm having health issues, things are not working for me, I'm not able to manifest. A lot of times the spirit is not there. And it may not even be close to the body. So that's why that is first, because we want to work with your spirit first. We want to cultivate that relationship with your spirit. Because once we can cultivate that relationship with your spirit, which is the one that's usually, because it has the freedom to go, out of your body, leave, do its mission, and do its spiritual work that it's here to do, but often it's unable to come back either because there's things in your body, attachments, or because you're running lower vibrations. Lower emotions. So when we work with the spirit, that creates a big opening. But there's also a practice to continue to cultivate that relation with your spirit. So that's why it's the first, because then you can identify, you can relate to it, you can see, and then you can work in cultivating that relationship. And then we move forward with all the other parts of you that are also just as important, but they also play a role in who you are and in your totality and living your life and having it all. And as we work through all of that, you're expanding into different levels as you're integrating the different parts of you into wholeness, into the awareness, into the awakening, the full awakening of who you are, into the mastery of who you are. And that is really important. This is the journey to awakening and self-mastery, mastering yourself at every level, because you're learning about yourself, you're seeing yourself, you're discovering more of yourself. And then the calls, these are the live calls where we can have conversations, where you can come to me and say, hey, I did your MP3 and this is what I have experienced and this is what's happening. And then we work on that. We do a lot of mini healings during the sessions. We do a group activation, a group clearing, and then I work with you one-on-one during the call. And usually, the mini healings and activations are so relevant for the whole group that everybody receives the activation and upgrade. And we're also going to be working with your DNA here and activating new source codes within you. And again, we talked about the gap, so this is part of that, noticing if there's anything else there in that gap. Can you easily now access your authority, access who you are, manifest in this world? We're looking at other programs that are lingering, hanging out in your field that may need to be released so that you can move into a higher state of awareness, a higher state of consciousness, to really tap into divine consciousness in those 4 calls. So they're very, very powerful because there's so many things that happen, and actually they're an hour and a half, so you're getting 90 minutes with me in these calls.
Wow. So 4 of those. The interesting thing about this is you're going to be actually helping folks through, again, the process, awakening, repairing, recoding, spirit, soul, spiritual DNA, resetting, rebalance, recoding, energetic circuitry, deconstructing, reprogramming, recoding mental and emotional bodies, repairing, awakening, balancing, recoding the physical. Just huge stuff. And then you have tools to be in the world with healthy boundaries, like you kind of spoke about, starting the day with brilliance, ending the day with peace and gratitude, enjoying the overflow of abundance every day. This is a huge one. I'd love to hear this one, because when you start to come from that space, oh my gosh, I can't imagine things don't start just becoming very abundant very quickly there. That's huge. That's huge. Tell me about that MP3 real quick and maybe what we need to know about that.
Yeah. So, everything that we're creating, we first created in our mind and then in our heart. So this MP3 helps you recreate the perception of abundance for yourself, and the joy, reconnects you with the joy of abundance. So it connects you with the visual of what abundance is for you, and then the feeling connected to the abundance. And then also, when we talk about the perception, is whether it's lack or scarcity or overflow. Well, many of us come from that place of lack and scarcity and struggle and pain. Well, this MP3 helps you break free from that and break away from that into overflow, into there's enough, there's always enough, there's more than enough. And not just around you, within you. So this is the practice of within you, creating that overflow within you, because we are abundant beings, but we experience what we believe. So if we experience that we're lacking, if we experience that we don't have enough energy, enough time, that's what we see in the world. So this transforms, moves you away from that into overflow. So more than enough time, energy, resources, love. Everything is available to you. Everything is in overflow for you. And again, the more you do it, the more you listen to this MP3, the more you create a state of overflow. And that's what we really want. We want to move into that state of overflow. Because once you're in that state of overflow, again, it becomes natural. This is from which I operate. This is what I know, overflow.
Overflow. Yeah, I mean, we've probably never really, I don't remember that word ever coming up, but to think of it that way, it's like, oh, I want to be abundant. Well, what if you're going to have overflow? Like, you're so abundant, it's just overflowing. It's like, and that is a whole energetic shift. Wow. Well, it is all here, ualterrevolution.com/Maria25. Maria, I'm blown away. The process was immense. It was amazing. We're still getting comments coming back as they flow in. And I got to say, another person wrote in, colors coming in, waves, very relaxed. Amazing, says Cherie. Huge gratitude, tears flowing, heart opening. Oh my gosh, amazing process. I've been in pain today with aches, and I had a headache before the process. Right now, much of the pain is gone. I feel so peaceful, enveloped in love. What is the message for people right now who are wondering, okay, should I move into this divine intelligence? Is this for me? Is this maybe a way that I want to live my life from now on? What would be the reason? Why would you say, yes, you should, my friend? Take my hand. Why?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's time, right? It's time for us to step into a new field, to step into a new morphic field, to step into a new way, to step into a new reality. First of all, that's where we want to start. Yeah. Secondly, is that it's, divine intelligence is truly within us and who we are. It's vibration, it's consciousness, it's possibility, it's probability, it's flow, is everything that we seek. That's what it is. We seek joy, we seek love, we seek happiness, we seek prosperity. That's what it is. So it's not anywhere out there that we need to work for it. It's here, and it's now, and it's available to us. So why not? Why wouldn't we choose to step into it now? It's available. It's here. It's the universe saying, here, I'm extending my hand to you. Now, you don't have to wait for it. It's always there. It's always been there. And I'm showing to you now that the path is there for you. And it's, again, creating that place of feeling safe in the world, feeling powerful in the world, feeling in charge of your life and your authority. So really the message to all of you is that this is the time for you to step into more, for you to take that leap of faith and give that gift to yourself, that blessing to trust yourself. Trust is something that many of us have been sort of, as a lesson practicing. So now we get to move into radical trust. I fully surrender to all that is and all that is available to me. I surrender to the universe, God, to consciousness, divine consciousness. And it's just like giving yourself to that possibility of expansion and healing and potentiality and overflow of abundance. It's like you're saying, okay, if I'm going to risk it all on this possibility. This beautiful, powerful possibility, instead of on the things that are coming from the mind and the fear and all of that and the struggle. I'm going to just throw myself all in. I'm going to be all in with it because I know something magnificent when I trust and surrender when I'm in divine alignment. Something magnificent is going to happen, even if I don't know what that is. I know it's truly amazing because I can feel the connection. I can feel the love. I can feel divine love within me. I can feel myself moving in different ways in my energy that feels so good to me. So I'm just going for it. I'm trusting. This is the time for that. This is the time for trust. This is the time to take that leap of faith. This is the time for you to say yes to you. Yes to more. Yes to ease. Yes to I am all that is now. Yes. And then, coming within and allowing that space to expand the journey that we're on is to all that is within me now. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, it seems so simple. I mean, it seems like a much simpler way to live is what I mean. It's like putting all of our energy into that part of us versus all the other noise, right? And I mean, that's why you're here. That's how you're doing what you're doing. I think some level that's why I'm here, right? I'm doing this because
Beautiful.
I trusted that. So yeah, I open the invitation for people. Check it out. uwealthrevolution.com/Maria25. We've got one-on-one sessions, and the first 25 people will actually get an additional follow-up, which is a huge gift. So you're going to get actually like two sessions with Maria, which that can change it all. Maria, thank you so much for being here and just giving so much of your heart and time. That was an amazing process. Thank you for all this incredible work.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure. I just love being in this energy of co-creation and this energy of ascension and facilitation and awakening, and seeing you all, just step forward and give to yourself and choose and be intentional in what you're creating for yourself. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And yes, absolutely an incredible being of light as she downloads and works with some of these higher energies from the Galactic Council. This is what comes in, and this is where we go, and this is how we shift, I think, very quickly. We've had people shift in just days. Thinking, Maria, I felt many layers dissolve with coolness in my neck. I choose to be now divine. I choose joy. I choose abundance. Awesome. So much gratitude. Tears flowing, says Cherie, and so many others. Check it out. It's not done. There is more, and there is a process to move through to expand this even more in your life with Maria Martinez. Check it out, uwealthrevolution.com/Maria25. Much love. Thank you, everyone.